The CBS contracts were drawn up in a couple of days. Each of the four brothers eagerly signed them. The problem then became how to break the news to Jermaine and convince him to sign the deal. Jermaine's father-in-law, Barry, was now considered to be the enemy, but Joseph realized that Barry had a powerful influence over his son. Barry had recently promised about exciting and lucrative future at Motown. He suspected that the group would try to leave and he wanted to assure Jermaine of his future at the company. He had chosen enough to give him his only daughter in marriage. It would be Joseph's challenge to convince his son that his wishes should prevail over Barry's. He waited 3 days before summoning Jermaine to determine a strategy. He soon realized there was no easy way to coax Jermaine away from Barry. It shouldn't be that difficult a decision for Jermaine anyway. He decided, after all, he was Jermaine's father, not Barry. He was certain that Jermaine will make the right decision. After all, he said, Jermaine's not stupid. I hope. Come to the house tonight, he told Jermaine on the telephone. Come alone. Don't bring that wife of yours. That's when I knew something was wrong, I recalled years later. Hazel is a very strong person and asks a lot of questions. I'm sure my father thought he could get me to do anything if Hazel wasn't there. I was afraid to go, afraid of what I'd find. When Jermaine arrived at the casino state, Joseph had escorted him into the bedroom and closed the door. The contracts were spread out on a bureau, contracts on four of them. A fifth contract was unsigned. Joseph picked up Jermaine's contract and handed it to him. Sign it, he ordered. He didn't attempt to reason with him or explain anything to him. He just told him to sign it. How Joseph could be so obtuse remains a mystery. He may have been able to get Jermaine's signature if only he had used a modicum of common sense in his approach. Of course, Jermaine refused. I said, sign it. No, Joseph, Jermaine said. I'm not signing. You signed the damn contract, Jermaine. I ain't signing. Think about the money, Joseph shouted him. Real money. You think Motown's gonna come close to this deal? Look at this money. He flipped through the pages trying to find a clause that outlined terms. I don't care, Jermaine said. It's not about money or it's not about money for me. You don't care? You're crazy. That's what you are. Joseph said angrily. By now, he was shaking his fist at his son. You sign this goddamn contract, Jermaine, or you'll be sorry. CBS Jackson 5 will be the next bills, and you know that's what we've been working for. Hell no. I don't want to be no Beal, Jermaine said. I'm not signing it, Joseph. Forget it. But that, as Jermaine recalled it to me in interviews later, he ran from the bedroom and out of the house. He told me that he had to tell you what had happened, and that the Jacksons were actually leaving Motown, and the news couldn't wait until he got home. He pulled over to a pay telephone and called his father. The brothers, they signed it with CBS, Barry, he blurted out as soon as Barry picked up. I can't believe it, but they did. They left Motown. Jermaine recalled that there was silence on the other end of the connection. Finally, in a soft and calm voice, Barry spoke. Are you absolutely sure, Jermaine? They already signed the contracts, Jermaine answered. His tone frantic. I saw them with my own eyes. Well, what about you? Did you sign? Barry asked. I was leaving because there are problems at Motown, Jermaine said. But I want to say, Barry, I want to help out the problems. Jermaine later recalled, I told him I didn't sign and that I was going to. He told me to come by his house, which I did. We checked it out. That night, he became like a father to me. a sensible father. You're on your way to the top. You could be running Motown one day. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be the president of Motown. I knew I could do it. I know I had it in me, even if Joseph never believed I did. Barry gave me the confidence to know what I could go in places if I stayed with them with Motown. I believed him. I didn't believe anything my father had to say about anything. I believe in Barry Gordy, not in Joseph Jackson. Despite the fact that there was such turmoil in the family, the group still had work to do on the road. When Jermaine came back to the house a few days later to rehearse for the show, he and Catherine had a loud discussion about his decision not to sign his contract. Catherine was angry with him, and she let him know it. Jermaine reminded her that Barry Gordy had been the one who put sticks on our table and in our mouths. Catherine couldn't believe her ears. We were already eating sticks and Gary, she told her son Haley. As for the teeth he put injected into his mouths, he's recouped that money hundreds of times over. We could be sure of that. However, that doesn't seem likely that the Jacksons were eating sticks in Gary. The next stop for the group was the Westbury Fair on New York's Long Island. On the way, Michael attempted to act as a referee between Jermaine and Jackie, who argued loudly about the question of Motown versus CBS. In the end, the brothers, with the exception of Michael, had completely turned on Jermaine. They couldn't understand how they could go one way and I did the other. Jermaine, remember? It was tense. It was bad. Michael adopted a more even-handed position than his brothers. I thought he would see our way eventually, Hillary recalled. I never had a doubt things would work out. In some things, the familial pleasure manifested itself in predictable ways. His almost always trouble with the group had become protective of her husband, not allowing him out of her sight. One of the group's road managers recalled after we checked into the hotel in the Long Island, we were all down in the lobby having fun. The other brothers and their friends went up to Hazel and Jermaine's way to see where Jermaine was, but Hazel said that Jermaine couldn't come out and play. I thought that odd and pushed her on it. She got upset. I said he needs rest. Now please go. Leave him alone. Jermaine didn't have a performance until the next evening with the group. Why did he suddenly need more rest than the others? He continued. I can't. He can't. I said he can't come out. So he can't come out, and that's final. It seemed that her whole thing at that time was to separate Jermaine from his family. Jermaine has said that prior to the group leaving for New York, Barry Gordy sat down with him and Hazel and told us that the first rule of a husband and wife must be to themselves, not to anyone else, not to anything else in the world, according to Jermaine. He said, whether it's me and Marshall or the Jackson family and CBS, everything comes second to yourselves as man and wife because you're the two people who are going to live with each other and with whatever decisions you make. Barry's disciplinary aside, he most certainly recognized the truth. Jermaine would be able to leave Motown, not if he wanted to stay married to the boss's daughter. After the Jackson 5's first performance at the Westbury Music Fair, the telephone rang in the music group. It was very calling for Jermaine. I just watched Jermaine's face for a hint as to what the conversation was about. Jermaine clutched it tightly. He didn't say much other than goodbye. He explained deeply and hung up. Okay, I guess I gotta go, Jermaine announced. Now, we could go on in 30 minutes. How are we gonna work around you? Jackie gasped incredulously. I can't believe You're doing this to us, Tio added. Everybody was talking at once. Joseph's voice being loudest of the din. Are you crazy? He stormed. We're your family, not the Gordies. Rush, I mean, you ain't going nowhere, boy. Barry had demanded that 20-year-old Jermaine make the most important decision in his life and make it right then. Right there. Motown or CBS. The Jacksons or the Gordies. His birth family or his family by marriage. Whether Jermaine acted an impulse or understood the ramifications of what he was about to do, he burst out of the dressing quarters with tears in his eyes. I'm out of here, he said. Took a, he took a car to his hotel room where he packed his suitcase in about 5 minutes. What's going on? He's the one to know. Jermaine could not speak through his rock cups. We're leaving, as all he could say. A black Motown stretch limousine waiting to visit the people to the airport and then back to Los Angeles. We were surprised, really in shock, absolutely stunned. One of them remembered. It was like a dream. Jermaine getting that call and then walking out on us like that. We were about an hour from showtime. The place was already packed. We had a show to do. We couldn't do any of it. Michael was crying, and I said, not Mike. We have fans up there. We have to buck up. Wiping his eyes, he said, I can do it. Come on, later. We gotta deal with this. We gotta get Jermaine back. That night, 5 exploded onto the stage of the Westbrook Music Fair with such elation. No one in the audience would ever have guessed the backstage drama that had just unfolded. Michael's first responsibility was to his audience. He was just 16, but he knew what he had to do. During the dancing machine, he whiplashed the mic stand into a wobble. The motorized shuffle across the stage as if he were a robot, and then execute as a precise moment the stand crushed upon his shoulder. He looked at the instrument with a disdain that implied mortal insult. The crowd roared its approval. This journalist, a teenager at the time, was present for the show. Jackson's performance still recalled with clarity. Though Jermaine was missed, Michael announced that he had the flu. It was a still dizzying performance. During an ironic tribute to the Motown sound, Michael prowled the stage like a fierce bellic wolf. I want you back. He received the love you say goodbye. All the Motown hits and more were performed with graceful and often demanding choreography. Whoever it took to please the fans, that's what Michael did. Transforming as always personal frustrations into sheer energy. While accepting his audience's approval, he seemed knew he could completely trust his fans. The planet riff from the Jackson 5 hit I'll Be There read more bittersweet as Michael performed it during the evening show. Without any rehearsal, Marlon stepped in and took Jermaine's ironic lines. I'll be your strength, he said. I'll keep holding on. One that always been underrated as a singer, never having had a choice to truly shine in his brother's shadow. Tonight, he held his own, and against great odds, still Jermaine belonged on that stage in his rightful place next to Michael. It just wasn't right. By the time the youngsters were finished, members of the audience were dancing out of their seats. There were 3 encores, but afterward, backstage, there was no music, no party, no laughing as usual after a stellar performance. Everyone returned to his own dark mood. Why does the show have to end? Michael asked his brother Jackie. He seemed disheartened, though he tried to hide his feelings. Though he seemed to show. I wish it could just go on forever. I walked over to Hey man, what happened to Jermaine? I asked. But what a great show anyway, I added. And wow, if it wasn't possible for a teenager my age to be too fun, I wasn't aware of it at that time. Pretty sure that was. I went on. My God, the whole thing was just so cool. Blanco accepted my compliments with a soft, sad smile. Thanks. He'll be back. He said he's sick. Joseph sat more silently. It appeared that the act his family was breaking up, and that there was nothing he could do about it. Anyone looking at him would have been heartbroken by his forlorn expression. He seemed uncharacteristically vulnerable as he sat slumped on a chair, shaking his head as if to say, I just don't understand it. How in the world could this have happened? Paul went over to his father and steadied him. He put his hand on Joseph's shoulder. There was a moment between them, a genuine moment. Suddenly, Joseph stood up, and in a matter of seconds, he went from sadness to fury. It's my blood that flows through Jermaine's veins. Joseph bellowed, not Barry Gordy's, not Barry Gordy's. Then he stormed out of the dressing room and slammed the door behind him.